Welcome everyone to the start of a new gameplay series on Factorio. Now I just completed, or will have by the time this video goes live, completed a Kerbal Space Program playthrough, and Factorio is another one of those games which is probably like on my top 10 for all time of the best games. This is a masterpiece. It's great. And everything, the more I think about this game, the more I realize how well it jives. Everything from the sound, the music, the game styles available to you, and how versatile it is for people who want to do with combat with biters or not. Anyways, if you've been living under a rock somehow and don't know what Factorio is, it's about, at the core, building a factory. And a lot of these little gameplay scenes that are happening in the background are going to be showing combat, but combat doesn't necessarily have to be part of the gameplay. And in fact, the style I'm going to play during this series is going to be a little bit less combat focused. I'm relatively combat non-focused. So I think it's an interesting dynamic, but it's not one that, it does slow down the gameplay, so it's not one that I'm going to be looking at too deeply here. To that point, we'll be playing on a rail world, where the biters don't respawn, they don't push their own bases towards your base. There is kind of a nice tug of war if you play with default settings, where the biters expand towards your base, and then you kill them, and as you kill them, there's various evolution things which happen. Time goes on, pollution happens, these cause the biters to quote-unquote evolve, which means they, more dangerous breeds of biters are spawned. But with the rail world, a lot of this is turned, as you can see, these sliders are relatively low, and I actually I prefer to turn the time one down almost to nothing, because if I leave the game running overnight by accident, I don't want to wake up to the biters are suddenly a lot stronger. But I don't mind, to compensate, changing the destroy factor so that the biters evolve a little bit faster. But that's not even really the main part of... It's not really that important a part of the game for... I don't know. The railworld stuff is so not enemy focused that we don't really need to fixate on that slider stuff too much. Mostly for us, we're going to look at resources and a little bit on terrain. So the size of everything is a little bit bigger and the frequency is much lower. What I like to do is also increase the richness. This just means it buys you a little bit more time before you have to move on to the next patch. And frequency for crude oil I sometimes put up. I'll leave it at the default for now, but let's just see what kind of map we generate here. And also I'm going to go over and turn down this volume. Strikes me as a little bit loud. So let's try that instead. Okay, so we generated something. This is the seed. I will export this as a string for anybody who wants to play. The middle of it is where we will spawn, so presumably somewhere around here. I guess this will be our initial base. I do like this. I like this actually quite a lot. One of the things I love the most is when... Is it still too loud? There's a lot of activity going on. Let me turn it a little bit further down even. Probably need to go to the settings and reduce it there, but we'll try this. That'll help a little bit. I love it when the patches are not overlapping. Now they are overlapping coal and iron a little bit here, but that's it's reasonable. It's not too bad. Boy, it still is loud. All the combat is pretty loud. At least it is on my end. If we were to choose this start, which I think we will, this one looks really nice. Oh, you know what? We're definitely not going to choose this exactly. There's one huge change I'm going to make, at least gameplay-wise. It ends up being a pretty big impact. And that is, I'm going to turn off cliffs. I debated. I've actually played a test game, as you might have seen from the opening, from the the beginning there, that I had a September 2021 start that I'm still working on. So I thought about changing this, and I did play with cliffs in that one, but I realized it just basically ruins a base. If you're going to play with biters, especially if biters are expanding, I could see it be... if biters are a thing, cliffs make great choke points, because it's not something the biters can destroy, same way that you cannot destroy them. However, if you're not playing with them as choke points, they usually just end up ruining your main bus line, as I like to make, and all that, so we're going to play without that. This one has a lot of uranium, which is, wow, boy, a lot of uranium. And we have enough oil here that I'm not going to have to increase the frequency, so this is fine the way it is. And we have plenty of... this looks great. This looks like everything we're going to want. Sometimes what happens is when you generate a random seed, I don't know exactly how the seed generation works, but I think that water is placed after iron and coal and all the resource deposits, And what can sometimes happen is it feels like there's not a whole lot of resources near you. Probably what happened is they were gobbled up by water, which was placed and submerged them, which means it deleted them after you already, after the resources were generated. So you kind of have a dearth, like a barrenness of resources, which still can be fun. I mean, that's the whole point of the real world, is they want things far enough away that you need to train them in. So anyways, I think this looks great. Let me copy this, put this over to my thing. There it is. Confirm. Put that in the video description below, and let's get started. Nice little cutscene here. So some parts of this game have changed actually since I played it last. And by the way, last time I actually played was with Bobs and Angels, so it's changed a lot since then, because Bobs and Angels is just not the correct way of playing. It is the correct way of playing. Sorry to say that, but it's not synonymous. It's not the same as vanilla. So when things change, I don't know if Bobs and Angels got left behind, what changes, and all that. Bobs and Angels is basically its own game. It's a very deep, detailed Factorio. You might actually call it like an expansion to Factorio. It's just a mod, so if you're interested, Bobs and Angels is a combination of several mods, or at least a couple of them, merged into some super mod that is a very extensive overhaul of Factorio, making it a lot more complex. So I'm just going to start off doing this, even though I'm wasting time. As you can see, one of the things I'd like to do for us is the no time for Chitchat. But I'm not sure if we'll do that or not. So after this, what we need to do is we need to start getting our burner miners up and running. Although I have a hard time not clearing the landscape. It's not really important to do right now. In fact, some people would say it's a waste of time. So let's get going on the good stuff. This is just coal. That's fine for now. Let me put it right here. And then we'll get our burner up and running. And we will get that clicked in there. I had 2 tutorial series on this at some point, and why are we doing that? That's not what I wanted to do. I really want... In fact, this is just kind of a waste. Let me just pick up the coal I did there. I want to do this... Man, can you tell it's been a long time since I started a new game? I want to do... here. I want to do iron. That's what I need to do. Thankfully, we got enough coal and iron and whatever to get started. And I'll just go cut down some trees, which are going to be our fuel supply in the very beginning. At least a reasonable fuel supply to get us going. And then this, put that in there as well. And we have enough iron plates to get us a second burner. Nope, not yet. We need stone. Okay, well, stone is also easy to come by. I just need to run down here. Stone deposit somewhere nearby too. I see it off to the right. I'm using my mini map up there. Oh, got 19 ounces of stone out of that. That's enough for a couple of these. We've got one of those now. And if we get 2 of those, which we need more iron for first, then we can build, this nice little thing, which is the infinite supply of coal. Just need to get this started. Just give me a single thing of wood. So those will now continually feed each other and give me coal. Great. Okay, so that's set, but we still need more iron. We need a lot of iron in the very beginning, which means we need to continually build these. Not that I like to, but we have to, because they are all going to be thrown right into the garbage at the very end. Now, while I'm doing this, which is not that complicated if you've ever heard of Factorio before or played it, this is kind of like the opening grind. Let me explain what our goal for this playthrough is. I actually, for some reason, and let me Control-Shift pause when I show this. Let me do that. No, I see it actually freezes the screen. But let me go down here. This is the big one. So long and thanks for all the fish. I have actually never beaten the game. Not officially. I think I must have beaten it with Bobs and Angels or something. I don't know how I don't have this achievement done, because I have launched a rocket before, but it must have been either in somebody else's multiplayer game, or I don't know how it worked that I don't have credit for that. But hey, it's some motivating thing, reason why to do this series, so good enough for me. We'll go ahead and run with it. Let's get another one of these. We need more. I'd like to get this right in here. And we can give you a little bit of coal and you a little bit of coal. And plop down. We need more stone. Oh, plenty of stone over here. I guess I'll chop my stone. One of the big changes, I'm going to be disjointed here, I'll try not to be too much, but one of the changes that has happened since I last played is there is no longer a physical mining tool, which used to happen in the bottom left. Actually, I think it was the bottom right back then, wasn't it? Pretty sure I remember the bottom right being the place where you had this interface. I don't know. I might be misremembering though. But anyways, we'll get enough stone here that, and ABC of course, always be crafting. ABC. Always be crafting. Okay, good. Take the trees too while we're on our way back. Yeah, so you used to have to build your tools and then they'd break and you'd have to replace it with iron and then eventually steel and all that, but not anymore. That's all been changed. So now you don't have to, you no longer have to build your pickaxe or your whatever it is. I guess it would be a pickaxe. So the tool no longer breaks and then needs to be replenished. They just morph that into part of your character. You have an infinite supply. But there is a tech to upgrade your virtual pickaxe to a steel one, so that there's still a discrepancy between like early game and middle game with your ability to manually extract resources. Now there is a kind of funny one which I've never done either, Lazy Bastard. You can see that we've already manually crafted 22 items, but if you go the whole game without crafting more than 111, you get a fancy little reward for doing that. I don't know if we'll end up doing that or not, but let's see. I just want to get the ones right on the edge here. This one's actually going to give us potentially too much coal. But it'll feed this guy coal, so that's fine for now. Is it fine? Not really. Grab another one of these, though. Just put it down. I think they work from the top left circular. So if we just do this... And I don't mind getting a lot of the stone burners. We're going to be making a lot of those anyway, so... Something like that. Go up here, get more coal. Can happen that if you happen to grab both these at exactly the wrong moment, they'll both be empty on fuel. Like before either of them can produce another coal, they'll produce another coal, they will both run out. But, you know, and you can get a circle of 4 of these going, 6, 8, I mean, you can get a whole line of them going. Actually, I don't even think doesn't even have to be an even number. So what is our factory going to look like? I think what we're going to be doing is have... The most natural thing to me feels like building upward, having our smelting centers up here, because our power center will be below, and the two won't, cross-contaminate. So power will be coming from water, obviously, and that will be to the southwest. We have that little lake above what might be a bigger lake. Not sure exactly, but that's what it looks like on the map, at least. So that's all that. We don't have too many trees starting nearby us, but honestly, that's not that big of a deal. It just ends up being probably more of a nuisance than anything, although I min-max a lot. And like resource-wise, I hate to waste any resources. So I typically view it as a blessing that, oh, hey, look at all these wonderful sources of wood, and that means fuel. But, okay, speaking of fuel. More to do here. More to do. Alright, but I think we're doing okay. Getting a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to leave this alone for now. We're going to need some copper at some point, so I might as well start setting that up. Get more of this. ABC, I'm not lifting up to my own reputation. ABC. Just maybe get the ones right at the edge here. And try to supply this with some coal. That'll be that. Okay, we got our basic stuff going on. I guess this one is getting to... I guess this one is getting to iron, which is good. So maybe it rotates the hex. I really don't know how it pulls, you know, from which tile. Okay, we're gonna need a lot of other things. We're gonna need steam engines, 1 boiler, 2 steam engines. I'm already kind of thinking ahead towards power. And then electric mining drills, which are gonna need copper. Okay, we can get 1 of those. We're gonna need an offshore pump. I know I'm just gonna need a lot of stone furnaces, so we might as well just be crafting those constantly. But yeah, as many transport belts as I can, which is very iron dependent. We'll try to get as much iron as we can. That was good. Good little... Get that iron, and then... Maybe we need another... Might go for another one of the burner mining drills when we get enough iron. That should be enough. Get that set up. We just cancel some of this stuff. So we get that burner mining drill faster. Okay, then we can go back and do the rest, but let's get this one up and running too. What do I want you? Wherever the edge happens, that's the best place. These early ones. Okay, we'll use wood because that's what I grabbed. No big deal. Okay, good. Wow. Okay, so 15 minutes in, I think we're almost ready for automated power. More coal. Get all this. Oh, you're not functioning. Right, because I put wood here, which is not what I wanted to do, really. You can function by wood, but you can't feed coal into this if there's no spot for coal to go. If I wanted to, I could start making like stone bricks out of this or something. But I don't know when that iron ore is going to pop up. In the meantime, we just grab more iron plates and shift like that. We're going to need a lot of that. We have 1 electric. Okay. We probably need 2 to make everything work. See that we're out of coal somewhere. No longer. But yeah, we can start getting the basic electric mining going. I mean, power. I think I'm going to run power east-west. I'm not really sure why. Is that like a... I guess it is some kind of preference of mine. No reason why we couldn't do it the other way, but... Okay. So I'll do it right here. Now we're going to need a lot of pipes. Yeah, pipes also require a lot of iron ore. So I guess if we can, we ought to make 1 more of these. We are getting iron out of that, thankfully. Make sure this guy's okay. Those guys are all okay. We lost some coal over there. Keep going, keep going. ABC, always be crafting. Yeah, goal of this is just to beat the game. This is completely vanilla Factorio. I don't know if we're going to make no time for chit-chat. It's actually pretty... I think it's pretty difficult. Maybe I'm just not a very good player. That's actually very possible. I think I'm also going to go with the burner inserter for the first boiler. I don't always do this, but I'll do it at least to demonstrate the utility of it. I kind of like I do not like wasting anything. I'd much rather power. I'll be solar as soon as we can. It's just not something that we can get away with right away. Okay, let's do this. How are we doing? Lots of that. I can just make these when I want, since that's what the copper is mainly going to be used for. I guess I can also grab some power lines, which will also be useful to have. More iron plates. Okay, more coal. And off we go. Another one of these would be great. A couple more of those while I'm doing it. Lab, sure. Oh yeah, and then basically all this. So those, the transport belt is what we're going to need to... Oh, what am I doing? No, 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 don't do that. I need pipe. don't think we need that last one, but let me get a lot of pipe, which can be made into the underground pipe as well. I don't need to go down there yet because we really need to make sure we have enough pipe before we do. Okay, back. We're coming, we're coming. Two might not be enough. It looks like I might just barely be keeping up. Could also be using my tool to manually collect it myself. But A, B, C as well. Crafting, crafting, crafting. It's probably enough. Let's make one more of those, and then... You know what? Forget it. Let's just make more transport belt. Alright, I'm going to go for it. I think we're okay now. So let's go ahead and take this over this way. Alright, so that's where I think we would do... You know what? I do want one more. Can I not? Oh, I need iron. Okay, so let's get some more iron and then build one more, and I could start there. Yeah, I could start there. Okay, why not? We can always move it later, I tell myself, although who knows if we will. So I need one pipe so that we can connect underground to the other side, whatever the other side is going to be. In this case, since I don't want another underground pipe, we're just going to let the boiler connect to the top here. The two steam engines down. My goodness, that was bad. Alright, so that's that. Now we need, we don't actually need a power line for the very first one, because it's going to be powered by the burner inserter. But in theory, this whole grid will cover, this grid will cover having electric power for the whole thing. Alright, we'll do something like that. Is that all the ones we have? We probably could use some more. Let's get 6 more. Let's go back here and fight all the fires that are happening. I'm sure I have a lot of things out of fuel. True. This is the truth. Okay, as long as we get some more of this. So I'm sure that we just did not put enough into like this or this. Okay, we're doing okay, and probably not over here. Oh wow, we actually are doing okay. Get more of this, and then that, make copper cable, more iron. Just coming in nicely, great. Get some of these. I will just leave that alone for now. It'd be nice to get more of this. I think the main thing is just going to be transport belt. What else do we need? We're doing okay. Okay, now we lost fuel on the top right. Give them fuel. Okay, collect more iron on our way out. Oop, see? If that one had lost fuel, we would have been stuck, but no, we're okay. Alright, so now it's time to get automated power up and running. We need wood. Oh, we need wood, of all things. Great. It's one of my favorite things to collect. We actually really do not have a large wood supply around us. A little bit painful. Am I going the right way? Where's the wood that we want? I don't really need stone. Oh, there's not much there. Okay, there's a little bit down here. Let's go that way. Wood's good to have in theory because it stops pollution, but it's also good to have for power lines. So this series, I guess it'll be a pretty slow-paced series, not too... it's going to be like very similar to the Kerbal Space Program one. Let's do things. I am going to do cuts, though. This first episode is going to be the one exception where I show myself like cutting down a whole forest. It's not going to happen in the future ones. We're going to do more cuts, get more things done quickly. where the heck did I want my power? So do I want it just to go? How do I want this to go? I guess we'll run it up. Okay, so we have, what I need to do is figure out where exactly I'm going to make my lines. Okay, so there's out of stuff here. And by my lines, I mean where my electric mining drills are going to be going. Typically, I want the last one to get that, so it has to be something like this. Unfortunately, that's a bit far. And definitely one can go up here, so this has to be number 2, so then boom, boom. Okay, so this is 1, boom, and 1, 2, like so. Alright, let's get some, oh, we actually got 158 of these, my goodness, that might be enough. How perfectly inconvenient. Alright, well, we'll navigate around that. Couldn't have picked a worse spot. Alright, turn this way. And voila. Alright, so we're actually good to go for electric power now, which is pretty exciting. Now we just need to start making more electric mining drills, which, wow, we can get 8 of them. This is not bad. Obviously we need the electricity to do this, but we'll manage that in a moment. Let me get some more coal into this guy. 47, that's a good amount. That. Wow, these guys are still going. Okay, good. So let's get some more electric power poles just to make sure I have those ready. A, B, C. I guess we can run this the other way. It's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that. Okay, so let's go ahead down the line this way. Good. Okay, so that gives us plenty of room for steam power because we can run it again on both sides, not just the top side. So this is like what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We got 9 more, room for 9 more, and then 10 on the bottom. That's more steam engines than I think we're going to need. I hope to have solar power up and running by the time any of that is needed. We can drop our 1 lab here. We haven't hand-produced any science, but you know, we can do that too. Actually, we can produce quite a lot. In ABC, I should have been crafting a bunch of these gears. It's pretty much all you need in the very beginning of the game. Tons and tons of gears. Let's use some of that. Use some of that. How are you doing? Let's take half your coal since you will also be getting injections of coal. You guys don't have power. Right. Well, the cycle, they cannot produce coal to give power until this thing has coal to produce power to begin with. So we have to start off the cycle, which I will do with a little bit of coal. And that should start the cycle indefinitely. Hopefully we will have steam power for a long time, at least until we get solar power up and running. Next step for us, we're still going to need a lot more of these because we're going to want to do a little smelting centers and all that stuff, well, pretty soon, but at least for now we can probably fork off this thing. Maybe I'll fork off from here. Oops. Perfect. Then we can do electric mining drills instead of... Right here is perfect, I think. No, it's going to have to be there. Trying to figure out how I can get this one powered and that one powered. I think I can do it like this. Let's do that. Okay. So you're out of fuel, which is, I actually would rather not waste. Let's just put one in there. When this guy gets close, I'll just close him off. You know what? It doesn't matter. Just close it off anyway. Okay, ABC. Bunch of gear wheels. 99% C, that's what I don't want to see. I'll be back. We don't need to be that stupid OCD about, you know, perfect usage of resources. I would like to see that stop below 50%, but... Okay, now we have science ready to go, which means our first foray into the research screen. Probably we're going to do automation, but let's take a look at these real fast. Just can't see any reason why we wouldn't. Okay, we're just going to do it. We'll do automation so we can get automation set up. That's a good one. Takes 10. We have put in, I think, 20. So we should be good. Get a few more of these beakers too, because we'll be doing science manually for a little while. And let's do that. Put wood in these for now. Although, forgot to do that. That one's going to get plucked up pretty soon. Honestly, this one too. Come on, don't 60. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll be fine with 66%. Whatever. We'll put these guys out instead. Okay. And you. That. This is not exactly what I want to do. Not, you know, forever. I don't want this kind of stuff going forever, but for now it's okay. Oh yeah, we have stuff we can collect too, including coal. And in fact, these can kind of, I think we're done with these. We have enough coal. Well, we'll just keep letting them work. And yeah, I mean, I guess this is probably about the spot where I'll bring the first episode to a close. So our factory and its meager beginnings. I think it's pretty cool. We have the coal stacking up. We had 4 of these going. We hit Alt. I should have done that right away. I love the Alt mode. We can get some more of these, but we have plenty of beakers going on. In fact, really only limited by the speed of our one lab. Could get another lab. I mean, we're eventually going to need a lot of labs. Okay, assembly machine's ready to go too. Cool, we got one of those. Reminds me that we probably should go and collect, and looks like refuel, our copper production. Probably could use with some more electric mining drills, so ABC, always be crafting. As soon as this one's done, I think we're done with those. Automation is done, so what do we want next? Probably logistics. Do we want to get to circuits and all that? No, I think we need logistics first. Let's do that. It's going to take 20, which we already have. So, that's a good sign. We have 35, so that's good. Alright, well, we're on the clock. I can hit Control-Shift-Space to bring up this nice little pause screen, which shows all the grids, can help you in planning. You can't do anything in this mode, though, because it's actually a paused game, which is nice, so I can sit here and talk for a moment. We can sit out and plan without being affected by the... what's this one called again? No time for chit-chat? Well, there is time to chit-chat if you pause. Anyway, I think I'll bring this first episode to a close. I expect I will be cutting away and doing some minor things, but most of it I'm hopefully going to bring... I mean, the series has to be brought to a close with under 14 hours of gameplay. So we'll see how... I think most of that will be on camera, but there will be... Like, going off and fighting biters after I've done it for the umpteenth time is not going to be something I need to record. So that's what you can kind of keep in mind for this series is... If you've never beaten Factorio yourself, feel free to play along with me. Because apparently it's my first time beating Factorio. Any suggestions or anything like that, any comments, please leave them below. I'm very thorough about reading the comments, especially on the first video. I usually am pretty excited to get this out there. And speaking of, if you wouldn't mind pressing the like button, leaving this a thumbs up, just because it is the first video in a series. I don't ask after the first video, but just to increase the visibility of the first series start a little bit more. That would be very helpful. So thank you very much. And also thank you for watching. I should hopefully see you back for the next one. Until then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.